In this video, we're going to be looking at aliasing and moire between the Panasonic EVA1 and the Panasonic S1. Here's the story. Now, as video producers, we've probably all been there. We've arrived at a job, we've set our camera gear up, we've set our lighting up, we've got our audio ready, and we're about to record some interviews or pieces to camera with a client, and then the client walks into the room and they're wearing a shirt like this. It's a shirt that's got lots of lines on it. It's very problematic, and it's problematic because it causes the image to flicker and be distracting to the viewer. So how do you get around this? Well, the easiest way to do this is to send through a clothing guideline to your client beforehand, but this doesn't always work. I've been in the situation before where I've sent through clothing guidelines to presenters, and then on the day when they arrive, they don't turn up with appropriate clothing. They're wearing clothing that has fine lines and small patterns, which causes this aliasing and moire effect, and they haven't brought any backup clothing as well. So really, they walk into the room and what they're wearing is what I get. And if I haven't got the correct camera and the correct gear, that can be very problematic for the video. Luckily, the EVA1 has a low pass filter, and this low pass filter helps eliminate that moire effect that you can get with other cameras. So how do you think it's doing right now? Is this shirt looking all right, or is it flickering and being a little bit too distracting to you? Just as a side note, right now we are recording in 4K DCI. We're recording 400 megabits per second, all intra. We're also recording 25p, 10-bit in Vlog, and I've also color corrected this with a X-rite ColorChecker passport video using the MBR Color Corrector 3 plugin in Premiere Pro. And I've also recently purchased a Tiffen Black Pro-Mist 1/8 filter. So that's on the lens right now. We're recording with the Sigma 18 to 35mm f1.8 at f2.8, and we're at 28mm as well. And the point of the Black Mist filter is to soften the skin tones a little bit and also add a little bit of bloom to the highlights in the background. So this is what it looks like with the filter on, and I'm just gonna screw it off now and then show you what it looks like with it off. And this is what it looks like with it off, and I haven't changed any settings, haven't changed lighting or anything on the camera. So hopefully this can give you a little bit of an idea of what the Tiffen Black Pro-Mist filter 1/8 strength can do. And now we've got the Black Pro-Mist filter back on, and let me know what you think. Does the EVA1 do a good job at controlling the moire and aliasing in this shot? Or do you think it's still a little bit distracting? If you were using the EVA1 and someone walked into the room wearing a shirt like this, would you freak out and demand that they change their clothing? Or do you think that EVA would be able to handle it? Let me know in the comments. And now what we're going to do is change to another camera, the Panasonic S1, and see how that copes. Now, fair warning, the Panasonic S1 does not have a low pass filter, so it should not cope as well as the EVA1, but let's see. And now we've jumped over to the Panasonic S1, and right now we are recording with the Lumix S24 to 105 f4 lens at f4. We've got an ISO of 4000, and we're shooting in Vlog in 4K. And we're also recording with a 60 shutter, and we're using a 60 shutter to eliminate any flickering that might occur from the Lumetric time unit in the background. And we're also recording in Vlog as well in 10-bit. And I've color corrected this with the X-rite ColorChecker passport video and using the MBR Color Corrector 3 plugin in Premiere Pro. We've also got the Tiffen Black Mist filter 1/8 on the lens as well. So let me know what you think. How does the image look? Is there any flickering, any moire? Is it distracting? Let me know in the comments. And I do realize that between the two cameras, I am using different lenses, so the look will be a little bit different. The S1 is also a full frame camera, and the EVA1 is a Super 35 camera as well. But what I've done with the two different lenses is I've tried to match the focal length the same as much as possible. So right now I'm recording this video with a 42mm focal length, and that should line up to the 28mm focal length that I had on the EVA1. If my math's off, let me know in the comments. So this is what it looks like with the Tiffen filter on. I'll now take it off and see if that makes any difference to the flickering on my shirt. And now we're back, and do you see any difference? If I move around a little bit, is there any moire pattern happening with the shirt? Is it distracting, or is this usable for your needs if you were recording a client and they walked into the room and they were wearing a shirt like this? Would you freak out, or would this be all right? So from what I can tell so far on the monitor in front of me is that the Panasonic S1 is looking all right. It's not being too problematic or problematic really at all with this shirt, and the fine detail that is on there is not causing any flickering, which is good. So between the EVA1 and the S1, although the S1 doesn't have that low pass filter, as you can see, you're still getting perfectly usable shots if someone was to walk into the room wearing a top that has lots of fine detail and traditionally would be known as being very problematic and being very distracting in the image. But as you can see, it looks to be quite usable right now. But I could be completely wrong. Let me know in the comments. And that will do it for this video. I hope you found this side-by-side test helpful, and if you did, please give this video a like. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to this channel for more videos on video creation in the future.